Oh, now I'm coming to a very interesting aspect of PowerPoint. Setting up slideshows. Just like in life, when we do any activity or when we perform any actions or when we do anything in our day-to-day life, there are always two aspects to it. One is creating it, and second is presenting it. For example, I might cook a beautiful dish. Let's say I might cook a dish of for example छोला ले लेते हैं, which looks very, if you ask me personally, वो जब prepare करते हैं तब कुछ इतना leaving aside the aroma, इतना अच्छा नहीं लगता. मतलब it doesn't have a very presentable look. Black color ऐसा बस पानी जैसा है और उसमें pieces of chickpeas are there and थोड़ा. But after he prepares it on the gas or whatever, stove or whatever, and when he puts those flavors, the fragrance of the chola is so good. Like you really feel tempted to eat it because of the fragrance that you get of it. Not the look of it, the fragrance. That's what attracts you first. Arey, ghar mein chola ban raha hai, because the fragrance is so strong. If I just pick it up and put it on in a bowl and tell you, chal yaar, kha le yaar, you will have it because your fragrance is so strong that you will not bother about the presentation of it, honestly speaking. But you would just pick it up and eat it, yaar, because you would love the fragrance of the chola, yaar. You would not bother about kaisa dikhta hai, yaar. Arey, khushbu achhi hai, chal kha lete yaar. It must be tasty, yaar. Masaladar lag raha hai. Taste mein, fragrance mein lag raha hai, masala hai usme both. But at the same time, that same chola which you would not bother about eating it, when you enter a 5-star hotel, they are so bothered. They forget कि यार छोला ऐसा चीज है कि यार उसको मैं स्मेल कर लूंगा और खा लूंगा यार, उसमें मसाले इतने होते हैं. But in a 5-star hotel, they don't bother. They say, nahi yaar, it has to be presented beautifully. They'll take a nice bowl, they'll put it over there, they'll chop onions very well, and they'll present the onions properly on the chola. And maybe required kothmi kuch dalna, they'll add, I don't know exactly what they do, but I'm just giving you an idea. They focus so much on that presentation. Whereas if we are on the street, we go to a dhaba to eat, we don't care a damn about the presentation. Yaar, arey dhaba ka hai, chal kha yaar. So life mein preparation and presentation are equally important. If any of them are not done properly, that product cannot be sold. A 5-star hotel bothers about presenting the chola because uska chola hoga 500 rupees ka. But dhaba won't bother about presentation क्योंकि उसका छोला 50 रुपए का होगा. उसको फर्क नहीं पड़ता है क्योंकि 50 रुपए कोई भी दे देगा और ले लेगा. बट 5-स्टार होटल का 500 रुपए देने से पहले आदमी को सोचना पड़ेगा यार, 500 दे रहा हूं यार, उसमें ऐसा क्या खास है. तो टू शो that dish is expensive and has got additional value, the entire concept of presentation comes in. If it was the same chola 50 rupees wala dhaba wala, person would not bother. पैसा देके फटाफट खा के निकल जाता. Right or no? Same way, when we are creating a PowerPoint presentation, if we are marketing a product which is worth 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 1 lakh, 10 lakhs, maybe a crore of rupees, the creation of the product is important. But honestly, more than creation is the presentation. The value you add to a product is by the way you present the product. That person will look at the presentation and go, wow, because you're selling an expensive product. To create that wow factor, PowerPoint presentation becomes very important. And that is why the section I'm covering with you is very important. Setting up a slideshow. So the first question is PowerPoint 12, Set up a slideshow for this presentation so that it can be browsed by an individual and will loop continuously until the escape key is hit, except all other default settings. क्या कर रहे हैं हम? ये क्या है? What is this? Browsed by an individual. ये क्या है? So I'm opening PowerPoint 12. And this is the presentation I have got. Generally, when you run the presentation, you go to the slideshow and you click on the button known as from beginning and the slideshow starts playing. That's the way people put on slideshows. Slideshow में जाके from beginning click करके slideshow चालू होगा. But when I go to the slideshow option, I've got an option known as setup slideshow. This button of the slideshow, or even this small button in the corner, down we have a button, slideshow button. This button will play a presentation based on how I have set up my presentation. Remember that. So if I click on the setup slideshow button, I get a window which is giving me various options of how I want this presentation to run. What is the purpose of this presentation? Why am I doing it right now? So here we have got multiple options. One is presented by a speaker. Second is browsed by an individual. Third is browsed at a kiosk. Out of these three options, what are these options? Why are they important? So right now the question which is telling us is you have to choose browsed by an individual. So I say, okay, I'm choosing the option browsed by an individual. ठीक है, browse by individual option choose किया है. फिर next step क्या है? He says you want to loop it continuously until escape. That means the presentation will keep on playing non-stop till I don't press the escape key on my keyboard. Right now, the question has told us only to do these two things, nothing else. So I'm not going into anything else right now. I'm just going to follow the question and answer for now. So I chose this option, browse by individual. I chose loop continuously until escape, and I clicked on OK. Now I'm going to run the presentation by going to browse by or choose from beginning. I click on from beginning and the presentation has come. But you will realize that the presentation has come in a little different way. ये side में cross has come, minimize, maximize. This never comes when you run a presentation. And there are some buttons here. There are these arrows here which have come where I'm placing my mouse right now. These arrows don't come when you run a presentation. And there are these buttons. In between, there's a button called menu. So I click on these arrows and I'm able to move from one side to the other. And as I'm clicking, I'm getting back to where I started. And it's just going on and on. There's no end to it only. Because I said loop until escape, there will be no end to it. You will just keep looping as you keep clicking. Why have we chosen this option and when do we use this option? So before you actually are going to show the presentation to the audience, you might want to do a rehearsal of the presentation. You might want to see how your presentation is going to look. At that time, we choose this browse by an individual. That's why it says browse by an individual, not by general public. Here I can see every slide as it's coming. And suddenly I realized that this slide number 2, there's a problem. I have to rectify. I have to change this font. Because I'm watching browse by an individual, I have the button to jump to any view. I will simply click on normal and I'll be back to my normal view. And I will go to that particular slide where I need to do the change. I will choose this and I'll say, yes, iska font size I wanted to change. And I can go here and I can quickly change my font size and go back to my slideshow and again run the slideshow. and I can continue watching again till I find, is there any other correction I need to do to the slideshow? So this option of browse by an individual is always used whenever you are browsing your slides, and you can at any time jump by choosing the views. For example, I am watching the slideshow and I realize, अरे ये जो slide number 3 hai, it should have been 2 and 2 should have been 3. So you're watching a slideshow and you're realizing that. You will simply go over here and the view is there, slide sorter. You'll click on the view immediately and all you'll do is interchange it. And you'll go back from beginning. And again, you can start browsing. So as you are browsing, whatever difficulties you're facing, based on those difficulties, you are choosing the view. Should I go to normal? Should I go to slide sorter? Should I go to reading view? Which are the views that I should take based on the difficulties I faced while watching my presentation? I've got 1 minute. I'm just, yeah. I'll just go to normal view first. So I have got, let's say, 3 different companies, and I have a presentation which I have made of my company to present it to them. So there will be some slides which should be common, talking about your company, about your profile, about your team, about your, contact page, ye, wo, sab common rehta hai. But in between, there will be some variations for each company, because each company will have a different type of product or different type of requirement. So this custom slideshow is a fantastic tool for that. So for now, I'm just going to first do the question, then I will elaborate further. So the question told us create a custom slideshow. So I will go to the slideshow and they said, just include 2 slides into the custom slideshow. I'll go to custom slideshow button and I will choose custom slideshow. It will say, what do you want? I'll say, I want a new slideshow and I want to just include, let's say, reading and practice reading, for example. And I will just add those 2 slides and I will say, and then there's an option here giving a name and I'll say, okay. And after I've done that, I will just close this. So what I just now, so that was the question. This is the answer. They told us to create a custom slideshow. I created and showed you. But now I'm coming to the purpose of it and the meaning of it. Why do I need it? What is so important about this custom slideshow and how effective am I going to be using this? So as I was giving you the example, you will have, let's say, 2 or 3 companies who you are marketing your products to. And you might not want to have all the slides to be shown to each company. That means, what would you do? If you had 3-4 companies, you would make 3-4 slide presentations, right or wrong? You would create 4 files. Because in each file, you will have about that one company. Yeah, bhai, this company is interested in what do you call ABC product. So I'll make a file called ABC product. That company is interested in XYZ product. I'll make a file called XYZ product. So what am I, what am I doing here? I'm making 3 or 4 different files because I've got to show 3 or 4 different companies, 3 or 4 different products. Instead, imagine I'll make only one file. In that one file, I will put 30 slides. In that one particular file, I will have 30 slides. Like for example, in this particular slide, we have we have got about 8. This file may 8 slides. I don't have 30 slides, so I'm not showing you that example here. I'm just giving you an idea. So I say, ठीक है, I make one particular file with 30 slides, and I'm going to create 4 different slideshows using those 30 slides. So when I go to ABC company, I will run ABC slideshow. When I go to XYZ company, I will run XYZ slideshow. I am running different slideshows. I am not creating different files. Because I can make different slideshows, I don't need to have 10 or 15 slides for the 10, 15 companies I'm going to. Just imagine the amount of time you are saving, the amount of effort you are saving, and the amount of disk space you are saving. You are getting 3 big benefits with what we are doing now. Custom slideshow helps you to make one presentation file, but being able to create multiple slideshows. And that is the biggest advantage of this. And that's what you should be doing. That's what I call productivity. Save this space, save the effort of having 10, 15 files in your computer. Have one file which can be projected to 15 different companies. So keeping that example in mind, let's create, looking at this file which I have opened here. So I've got this file, slide number 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's say I have slide number 1, 2, and 3, for example, is common for all my companies. But slide number 4 and 5 is of one company. Slide number 6 and 7 is of the other company. And maybe slide number 8 is of the 4th company. All right. I'm just giving you an example. It may not really make sense that much to you now, but I'm just giving you an example that how we can break our slides into different slideshows. So I told you that there are some slides which are common and slides which are unique. So I'm going to simply go to slideshow and I'm going to say, okay, now I'm going to company ABC. I'll go to custom slideshow and I will choose custom shows. When I come to custom shows, a window opens up telling me, bhai, chalo, create a new show. I say, yes, I'm creating a new show. As I told you, there will be some slides which will be common. So I'm going to choose the common slides 1, 2, and 3. And I want only 5 and 6 to be shown to ABC company. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. And I click on add. When I click on add, your 5 and 6 has become 4 and 5. Just look at that. So my new custom show is showing me slide 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And the name of the custom show, I will call it ABC Limited. So now I am going to save this as ABC Limited. So here you see custom show mein ABC Limited aa gaya. Then I click on new. Again I choose 1, 2, and 3. And then I realize I'm going to XYZ company. XYZ company, I have to show slide number 4, slide number 7, and slide number 8. 5 and 6 is not of XYZ, it was of ABC. My common slides are selected 1, 2, 3, and then I selected 7, 4, 7, and 8. I say add. Automatically, I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I go here and I say, this is XYZ Limited. And I say, okay. Now in my custom show, there is one ABC Limited and there is one XYZ Limited. So I have what? One file of PowerPoint. But I can cater to 2 companies. I created 2 custom shows. This is my main file. As I told you, I'm just going to have one file. Wherever I go, I will travel with this one file. I'll go there, I will put my pen drive, I'll open my file. And I will go into setup slideshow. And here I will choose custom show. And look, I have got ABC as well as XYZ. See, they have come here. So now whose office I've entered? So I've entered ABC's office and I will click OK. Now, when I run my slideshow, just normal, huh? How you run it from beginning. Watch. Only those slides will come which I had selected. I selected first, second, third, fourth I had not selected, fifth, sixth. That's it. There you go. Only 6 slides were selected. Whenever I will go to the slideshow, only these will play. 1, 2, 3, 4. Why? Because I have chosen my slideshow to be the custom show ABC Limited. Tomorrow you finish here, you leave ABC office and you have the next appointment with XYZ. You will simply go, open a PowerPoint, come to here. So you'll basically open a PowerPoint. You'll go to setup show before you run your slideshow. You will choose here XYZ. You will say okay, and you'll say yes, I'm ready now. Let's connect the projector. So you need to understand that the projector wire is to be connected only when you are ready, not when you're doing all this what I'm showing you. And before you put the projector wire, you will go over here and say from beginning so that your slideshow is ready. Then you will put your projector wire, and what people will see will be only these slides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 won't come now. 7, 8 came. And that's why you will finish your presentation. So they will not know that you have got 30 slides in your parent file or 50 slides. They will see only the slides which you will project. And how will you create it? By going to custom show and creating the new custom show. So tomorrow suddenly you realize कि यार अभी मेरा ABC के साथ meeting है, but उसमें I have put extra slides. You realize that suddenly. यार ABC में by mistake I put this slide. I was not supposed to put this slide. No problem. You have come back to custom show. You go to ABC and you go to edit. When I go to ABC and when I go to edit, you can see the window has come. These are the slides you have chosen for ABC. And you realize you don't need some. You go to that slide and remove. Finished. How easy was that? Then you realize कि जो मेरा order है slides का वो थोड़ा गड़बड़ है. I want slide number 3 to be slide number 2 when I run the presentation. No problem. Choose slide number 3 and use the up arrow. Slide number 3 became 2. Now my slides 3 has become 2. Extra slide which was there I removed. And you feel that you need to add any slide in place of that. No problem. Choose the slide and say add. And that slide is come. And then you say the slide which I add has to come above the slide of focused. No problem. Take it up. No? Look at the amount of customization that is possible in this feature. So it says over here, PowerPoint 12, start the slideshow from the beginning. On slide 5, use the highlighter with red ink and underline the first question and save all annotations. This is what the question is. See. Let's understand what is all this about. And what is this annotations? Why is it important and how is it going to help us? So I come to PowerPoint 12 and you should be able to see the slide now. And I say, okay, I'm going to run the presentation. So let me just, yeah, it's all only, let me just do it as a full screen only. Yeah. So I say, okay, I'm going to run this presentation. And while running the presentation, I'm going to highlight certain words or certain aspects which I feel are very important to understand and for people to be able to, remember as to what meaning the entire presentation had. So I'll go to from beginning, and hopefully all of you all should be able to see the slideshow as I have started it now. And down here, I will click and I'll have the highlighter option. As you can see, I just clicked on it. It's a pen over here. Under that, I have a highlighter option, and under highlighter, I've got the option of red color. I'm going to choose highlighter and red color. And the words flying off pages. So I just go to the next slide. And getting into reading, I just go to the next slide. And then I realize that this is a very important aspect. So I just highlight that students can read 80%, whereas adults can read 65%. Suppose I want to emphasize on this. And I want to emphasize on, let's say, the literacy statistics. And I say 42 million adults that cannot read. So I'm highlighting the lines that I felt need to be highlighted. And I go back to my highlighter and I say, okay, I'm done with the highlighting. And I continue clicking my next slide and next slide and next slide. And I get out of my slideshow. Just before I am exiting my slideshow, a question has popped up. Do you want to keep your ink annotations? And I say, keep. And there it is. I am out of my slideshow. And to your surprise, here are my annotations. The highlighting that I did when I was running the presentation or when I was showcasing my presentation, those highlights have got saved. Now you have to understand this again has a lot of meaning. I can, after doing this, I can say, okay, I conducted a presentation today at the company ABC. So I will go to File, Save As. And I'll go to desktop and I will call this ABC presentation. And I will save it. So I save the ABC presentation and I say, okay, fine. I'm back to my any of the normal presentations that I have. And I want to open the ABC presentation. I'll say, okay, you know what? I want to see that presentation which we did that day at the ABC company or whatever. So I'll go back to ABC presentation and I'll open the presentation. And then I will come to know that on that particular day when I was running the presentation in front of the audience, which were the points which I had highlighted based on the questions which the audience had asked me. These were certain queries which the audience had on that particular day, which I had highlighted. Just imagine, I'm able to save a presentation with the highlights or with the emphasis that I did in the presentation on that particular day. That's one way of, or one advantage of having these annotations saved. And the second could be that if I have done this presentation and I have saved these annotations, I send it to my colleague and say, listen, I can't do the presentation today. But when you're going to do the presentation, I'm just giving you the important points which you need to emphasize when you are conducting the presentation. Just imagine. Because this annotations got saved, which I had done on a particular day. Today, if I'm not doing the presentation and my colleague is doing, I can easily tell them, listen, I'm sending you the file. It's already got certain points highlighted, which you have to emphasize on. Colleague says, fine, I got it. But he may want these highlighted points to be there when he runs the presentation. See, that's another question. I am giving him the highlighted points. But when he conducts this presentation, he might want to highlight this himself like I did it. He can do it very well. After he sees these important points, he will just click on them and press the delete button. Now what he's done, he's taken out my annotations and he knows which were the annotations which I had highlighted because I told him. So he has prepared himself well. And then he says, okay, now I'm going to run the same presentation to the audience. So he goes from beginning and the presentation starts. And he goes first slide, second slide, third slide he reaches and he realizes he needs the highlighter because he remembers what I had told him. And instead of red, he might use yellow. It doesn't matter, his choice. And he starts emphasizing the same points which I had told him have to be emphasized. And he gets out of the presentation. He finishes the presentation. Sorry, 1 minute. I just need to switch off the highlighter. And he keeps clicking and he gets out of the presentation. Again, the same question is asked. Do you want to keep the annotations? This time he'll say, I don't need it. He'll say discard. He'll come out and there will be no annotations in this presentation. There is nothing. See, it's all gone. Because he finished the job. He was told certain important points. He understood them. He practiced it and he presented it. And after he finished the presentation, he took out those points because he doesn't need to save them anymore. This is the power of annotations. So he says PowerPoint 06 start recording from beginning of the current slideshow, click through to the end of the slideshow. So he's basically telling me to record this particular slideshow called PowerPoint 06. Now, if you remember, I told you once earlier in one of our sessions, I told you that the presentation that we do, we might not actually need to be standing on the stage and presenting it. This is exactly what I meant by that. We will actually record an entire presentation along with all our actions and our voice. And once the recording is done, the next time when I run this presentation, the presentation will have my voice and also it will have all my actions that I want to carry out along with my voice. It will be synced with my voice. Just imagine my voice and the actions will get synced with each other because it is actually going to record everything as one single unit. So let's open PowerPoint 06 and let's see how we can automate the entire process of carrying out a presentation without physically standing there and talking, right? So I've opened my presentation PowerPoint 06. You should be able to see it now. So I have my PowerPoint 06 over here. And I'll go to slideshow and I have an option known as record slideshow. So I'll click on that and I'll say record from current slide or record from beginning. You can also choose how much of the recording you want to do. I say record from beginning. And a window will come up showing me the record button, showing me the highlighters down, showing me the mic, which is going to record my voice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the record button and I'll start recording this presentation. And while I'm recording when I'm speaking, you'll realize my voice also will get recorded. There we go. 3, 2, 1. Right. So now my presentation has started recording. You can see the pause button has come. So my marketing budget plan, category estimates. I go to the next slide. cost of each, and I want to highlight this cost. So I'm just going to pick up the highlighter or the pen, and I'm just going to pick up a color, and I'm just going to highlight this part. I'll click on the next. Then continuing with the same, I'll take a red color thing and I'll take a pen this time, and I'll say, okay, I just want to, just go on underlining each of the aspects as I'm going on speaking about them. Like this, I will keep going for every slide that I have till I reach the end of my presentation. And I'm out of the presentation. My recording is over. You will realize that there's a small little speaker which has appeared on every slide. And you will realize that and you'll realize I got a highlighter. I got all the lines. Now, as I told you, this is what you will do sitting in your house before you go over there in front of the audience to show your presentation. And then when you reach there at the venue to do the presentation, you will come on the stage and say, yes, welcome you all, and I hope you will enjoy this presentation, which I'm just going to play for you. That's all you will speak in live. And then you will just go and you'll just straight away click on from beginning and watch. I'm going to do it and you watch, you'll hear my voice. I won't be speaking this time. Yes. Did you all see that whole thing? And waste my energy presenting to 100 or 200 or 300 people here. I don't need to do that. It's not, I'm not there. I'm not saying I won't go to the venue or I won't be there. I'm there. Feel to voice same aa raha hai na. And then in between, I can just come and say, if they have a question answer, I will come on the stage and answer their questions and doubts and queries. Imagine the amount of energy and the amount of preparation that you need to do. Everything is saved here. Up, you will be so fresh to answer the question and answers because your energy is restored. Because I see a lot of times when I have gone for some presentations, I see wo log present karte hain, thak. They present like 30-35 slides and they're going on talking after every slide and they are explaining everything. Ye wo karte. By the time they reach the 35th, 36th slide, they don't have the energy left to have that freshness of answering your question answers. आप 35-36 स्लाइड्स के बाद मैं अगर आपको क्वेश्चन आंसर पूछूंगा, आपका एनर्जी लेवल लो होने ही वाला है, कुछ भी बोलो आप. बट अगर मैं ये कर रहा हूं, which I showed you just now, तो I am तो sitting absolutely geared up यार. अरे एक क्या 1000 क्वेश्चन पूछो, मैं आंसर दूंगा यार. मेरा एनर्जी पूरा मेरे पास है, मेरा माइंड भी पूरा मेरे पास है. I am free mentally also. So my focus will be more on solving people's queries rather than presenting myself to people. You got my point? So ये एक strategy है which you should adopt, because this is going to give a lot of convenience not only to you but also the audience. They will enjoy it more. So G is nothing but very simple. He's just telling us to delete the annotations on slide 2 under the heading estimated expenses of PowerPoint 07. So अगर मेरा PowerPoint 07 है, we assume that the presentation has been saved with some annotation. And at this time, we also want to, 1 minute, there's a error in my PowerPoint 07. So I'll just do it on this one only. So he's basically telling us to just remove any annotations like these. like this. I can just remove any annotations I want by just clicking them and deleting it off. All right.